trying to figure out what to do for video today. You know, maybe rain tomorrow, I don't know. But anyway, I thought about a couple things on Old Maynard here. Might be interesting to some people. One thing that I like on Volkswagens is the roller pedal. I noticed Hambone's got one on his car, and anyway, for your throttle there, it's a roller. These old Volkswagens, especially the older ones, the linkage on the throttle pedal always gets bent and funky, and you don't get full throttle and this and that. Anyway, the way this one hooks up, just works on a pivot and pulls directly on the cable. And let's see if I can do that. I can't reach and do it all at once. Anyway, and this just rolls on your foot. It's kind of funky driving barefoot, but if you got shoes on, it's not so bad. It does take a little bit of getting used to, but anyway, I got to give a shout out to the roller pedal. Once I tried one, I never went back to a regular one. Anyway, that wasn't the reason for the video. Another item on this car here, you can see the shifter. Anyway, it looks basically like a stock Volkswagen shifter. A lot of people like, you know, the short shift, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, and I'll set the camera up somewhere. Maybe we can show this. Alright, I got you set up on the seat here, and hopefully I won't knock things over when I do this, but I was going to brake on here. Go ahead and see if I can run through the gears here and show you how tight this thing is. Anyway, right now I'm probably parked in first gear, that's usual. So pull back to neutral. There's your neutral right there. See if I'm still in the picture. Okay, so we're going to go for first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, then of course reverse. Anyway, you can see how short that is, and it's very tight. Works real well, and I'm going to go get in a stock bug somewhere out here and back later and do the same thing, and then I'll explain how I did that. And that is a Volkswagen shifter. The ball doesn't stay on anymore. It comes off from time to time. I've glued it a few times, but just an old chunk of wood. Anyway, I'll be back later. Alright, I haven't changed any settings as far as the wide angle or anything on this camera, and I think I got it about the same height as I had it in Old Maynard out front. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and run through this. So we got your neutral right here. So we'll go first, second, third, and fourth. And then we have, well, reverse is over there somewhere. There it is. Alright, so we'll run it again. Anyway, that's a comparison of the 4 gears. Anyway, and I'll show you how I accomplished the shorter throw on Old Maynard. Well, we got a little surf music here for Hambone. Anyway, I'd probably better turn it down or I'll get bit by YouTube. Anyway, trying to figure out how to do this thing here and show what I saw and why I did what I did. I did this modification to Old Maynard, I don't know, 25 years ago or something. Long time ago. Back when I was even poorer than I am now. Anyway, it's just, you know, parts I had around, and wanted to make a, not necessarily a speed shift, but more of a close ratio thing. Anyway, so what we have, go ahead and throw this. So this is the best way I could figure out how to show it what's going on here. We got the old, this is what the basic stock beetle shifter is. It's got the little old crusty rubber boot stuck up out of the way. A bus shifter, give or take, same vintage. They're both old. The one there on the right, the bus shifter, is what I have in Maynard now, although it's a cut down version. First thing I guess we'll look at is on this guy here. When it's bolted in the car, this is all the way made up there on the pivot point, and hopefully we can see, you know, the approximate distance that that little ball sticks out when it's up in its socket. This piece down here, this ball goes down into the shift, I don't know, whatever, the end of the shift rod. There's like a cup down there that this fits up into. Anyway, so we can kind of, hopefully, kind of see the distance there. Anyway, and then this old bus shifter, if you take a look at it, the spring's a little tighter, but it's pretty close to the same animal. It sticks out just about the same. Anyway, so that'll fit right down in there in a bug. You can bolt it right in. And remember, this is an early bus shifter. Anyway, the key here is not that distance, but the distance from that ball to there on the actual shift rod. I'll show that next, hopefully. The actual pivots are different by, doesn't seem like a whole bunch, but you're looking at, give or take, ½ an inch different. The receptacle on the bug one here is, as you can see, shorter, and that's how this all works. When you move the handle up above a certain distance, that ball is going to travel a certain distance. On the bus shifter, when you move the same distance, this little ball is going to move further. And that's how I got my short throw. That plus, you know, I took the shift rod, the handle itself, down to a reasonable height in the car. Otherwise, I'd be, you know, up at shoulder height trying to shift this thing, and it would have a long travel. Anyway, I was going to put some marks on this paper and show the difference, and maybe I'll just go ahead and try that. Okay, we're going with take 2 because I found out I had to get those springs out of the way. Normally they're compressed up inside the cup and out of the way, and the spring on the bus style was in my way to get the full travel, and there was no way I could figure out how to hold it up in there while I was doing it. So I went ahead and took the springs off, and we'll go back to just the actual shift mechanism here. We'll go down here. Okay, and we'll start there. Let's go ahead and make our line. And we're going to go ahead and do our little mounting plate, just pretty much centered between the two lines in the cardboard. So we'll go ahead and start here and put a mark straight down. It's about centered on there. And up here at the top where the shift knob is, and then we'll go ahead and rotate it all the way the other way and put another mark right there, and another mark over here on the cardboard, and we'll label that with a B, and ignore this one here. It's this one over here now. Anyway, so in this distance on the shift knob, the little ball at the bottom travels that much. Now we'll go ahead and throw the bus up here, and we'll line up the first mark right here, and that's about centered on there. For the sake of doing this, I'm going to go ahead and put a hunk of tape on there. We'll just pretend this little piece of tape is the ball on my shifter after I cut it down to bug length. I think Maynard's is actually slightly shorter. Anyway, that's the ball on the shifter now. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get our mark lined up again. And we'll go ahead and mark that as well. And then we'll run the full swing. Comes up right at the other mark down here. And the new mark on our shifter, where our new mark will be, is right there. And we'll call this one, I don't know, number 2. Number 2. Okay, so here's what we got after it's said and done. To shift that car on the bug one, you're looking at a length of about 12.5. And then to do it with the bus one, you're looking at 9.5. And then if you were to actually cut that down just a skosh, you're down in the 8.5 range pretty easily to do what it used to take over a foot. Anyway, that's how I accomplished my shorter throw there, and it all has to do with the length at the bottom end between the pivot and the end of the shaft. Now if you really wanted to go extreme, you can actually do that with a Volkswagen part, and that would be a shifter out of a bay window. This is a later bus, and you can tell I'm not going to take the spring off, but it has even a longer throw there. The one drawback with that, however, is that when it's up in the cup where it belongs, the ball actually sticks down further and will bind down in the cup in your shift rod. So in order to use a bus type, basically you almost have to cut the hump open and then lower the bushing on your shift rod inside the tunnel of the frame. And if you were into doing it, worked good. Anyway, and then you can custom cut your length, whatever you want, whatever's comfortable for you to shift your car. Anyway, that's how I accomplished it. Another way you can accomplish a nice short shift, if you like, is to go this route. You got your basic empty right here, and an even shorter one here is a scat variety. Anyway, when I did mine, I didn't have the money for any of this kind of crap, and these came with various cars I've purchased over the years, whatever. Anyway, and I still don't use them. I still like my old Volkswagen method. It looks cooler, and it works just great. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful for somebody, at least if nothing else. You know, maybe somebody learned about, you know, something. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching.